Okay, so now that we've found income tax and we've started looking at your gross income and how income tax affects that, we have a couple more things that we have to look at. So we have Mr. Joe Houston here, and we're going to help him figure out what his paycheck is going to be, because if you notice, he's got some blank spots because we don't know how much he's made net salary after everything's been taken out. Now, we're saying that his gross earnings are the $1,250 that we talked about in the last video. So based on that, we know that the federal income tax is $223.70. But there's a couple more things that we also have to calculate. If you notice, we have Social Security and we also have Medicare. And these are other things that are taken out of our daily paychecks that are put into accounts that the government uses and that come back to us later on in life. So we need to calculate how much is going out. So we have some different rates. Now, it's important to say, I'm not taking, remember before we said after the $1,250 was out, we ended up making around $1,050, $1,060. We're not continuing to take the Social Security and Medicare out of that number. Everything is coming out of our gross income right here. So I have my Social Security tax, which is 6.2%, and I need to calculate that based on my gross income. So I'm going to take the $1,250 and I'm going to multiply it times 6.2% as a decimal, which remember is 0.062, and let's see what that comes out to be. So I have my $1,250, my gross salary, times 0.062, which is our percentage rate for Social Security, and my Social Security that's being taken out of my paycheck is $77.50. There we go, $77.50. But we also have Medicare that needs to come out. Now, Medicare is a much lower percentage. It's only 1.45%. So again, I'm coming back to my gross salary. Always taking these percentages, tax, Social Security, Medicare, everything comes out of the gross pay before you figure out what your net is. So I'm going to take that times 0.0145, and we'll see what our Medicare tax is. So let's see, our $1,250 times 0.0145 as our percentage, and they're going to be taking out, we'll round that up to $18.13 for our Medicare. $18.13. Doesn't seem like much, right? But now let's figure out what the net pay is. And the net pay is the important number, because that is the number you're actually taking home in your pocket after everything's said and done. So I need to take all of these deductions right here, and I need to add them together for this box. So we'll take our $223.70, which was our income tax. We'll take our Social Security, which is $77.50, and then we will add on our Medicare, which was $18.13. And so all of my deductions, whoops, let me fix that up in my calculator real quick because I didn't get $18.13, only $1.13. $18.13, there we go. So our total deductions are $319.33. So great, now I can figure out what my net pay is. So I have my $1,250 minus $319.33. And my net pay, or not mine, but Joe Houston's net pay, is $930.67. So now we can write his check for $930.67. And if I write it out on the line, $930, and then we usually line it out, and then 67 out of 100 cents. And there is his check. So we see the difference in gross pay, which is what you make before any deductions, and how that turns into our net pay after all of our deductions like income tax, Social Security, and Medicare. Okay? So all we're taking is those percentages, we're calculating that amount, and then taking it away from our gross.